Being pretty makes going out in public so f***ing intimidating. It really is true. Like, going in public, being a pretty girl, you know you're being looked at. And it's intimidating. And I'm not gonna lie, I never want to do it again. And I never want to go in public again by myself because, I don't know, I need to get used to just like being seen and being looked at.
I fit the beauty standard.
Are you pretty? Yes. Are you double take, break your neck pretty? No.
Anytime someone comes on this app and says that they're attractive, y'all get mad.
We don't hate that girl who said life is so hard because she is so beautiful and famous because she's confident. We hate her because she's not, and her confidence is fake. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena. Today we have an interesting video. You let me know if it's annoying in your opinion. I don't know why we always start out that way, but typically we discuss messy and annoying stuff on here. If that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe. If you're coming back, welcome back. I missed you guys. I am not sure when this video is able to get uploaded, but I have a feeling it will be in the year 2026, so Happy New Year. I hope you had a good end of the year. If you celebrate the holidays, I hope that went okay. You never know. Not everyone has happy holidays, so I hope you had holidays if you celebrate holidays. So I am not sure if y'all saw this video by, I think, is it Talia? I'm gonna say Talia Breyer, and she has over 50,000 followers on TikTok when I'm filming this video. In my research for this, I did not know she was the younger sister to someone I already follow, Haley Anna. She does a lot of body positive content, empowering content in my opinion. I don't know much about her because I recently followed her, but yeah, interesting. Anyways, Talia has this pretty privileged video that went viral, and there's a lot of discussion about it.
Being pretty makes going out in public so intimidating. And guys make it so obvious too. Like, I hear you. Like, I literally hear what you're whispering to your friends, and I see you all staring at me. And then also, like, this guy literally tried to like walk into me to like get my, I'm like, oh my god. And this is not even to be like, oh my god, I'm just so beautiful. But it really is true. Like, going in public, being a pretty girl, you know you're being looked at. And it's intimidating. Like, I don't know. I also didn't grow up looking like this. And so being seen, like, all eyes on me like this gives me so much anxiety. And honestly, what I think it actually is that makes it a lot worse is now that I have a social media following, I hear people being like, oh, I follow her on Instagram, or like people will come up to me, which is so much better. Please, if you see me in person, please just come say hi to me, because when I can tell that you recognize me and you're talking about me or you're saying things and I can hear you, it gives me so much anxiety. But I love when people come up to me. That does not make me nervous. It's knowing that I'm being like heard or seen, but like them not coming up to me, that makes me fucking nervous. But this is just something I'm learning and working on. But oh my gosh, I went to the mall today for the first time in so long, and I'm not gonna lie, I never want to do it again, and I never want to go in public again by myself because, I don't know, I need to get used to just like being seen and being looked at and being like whispered about, but it's not normal. So I don't know, it just, my heart rate is at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Anyways, to the people who do come up and say hi, thank you, because first of all, you're all like normal girls my age. You're all so pretty and cool, and it just like puts me at ease. And also then I like feel like I have a friend there. Like, I don't know. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. Like, my hard work, like these followers are actually real people my age who get me. So thank you. It's the coolest thing ever. And every single time I'm like, holy shit, like that was so cool. But anyways, love you guys. Follow for more. And if you can relate, let me know, because being pretty and being seen is not for the weak. Mwah.
So we've talked about this before. When someone calls themselves pretty online, I feel like if the internet doesn't think you're pretty, they might hand it to you. However, I do think there's a lot of nuance to this conversation. Let's dive into some comments before we talk about opinions, my opinion, and responses from creators on TikTok. Me, after I work out once, I want the confidence of a mediocre white person. May this level of confidence hit me like a brick. Me, when I buy new clothes. Dang, y'all are going in. I want the voices that live in your head. They're so nice to you. God, please grant me the confidence. I'm sorry. God, please grant me the confidence of a mediocre white woman. Okay, hold on. The prettiest girls I know don't talk about it constantly because they're secure enough in themselves. The prettiest girls are humble. And not all the comments are bad, you guys. They hate a confident queen. You are pretty. In fact, you look like Sarah Hyland. Love you, queen. A lot of people say that on Snap comments. Ha ha ha, thank you. This is so me, like in elementary school, thinking everyone was so impressed that I could do the splits. Me after ordering a cucumber water. And so I feel like the comments under this video aren't as mean, but she's made a lot of response videos. So I'll just play a couple of them. Check this out.
I'm pretty and I know I'm pretty, and that makes people so mad. I made a video saying that going out in public is stressful sometimes because everyone's looking at you, and like guys will do things to get your attention, and especially now that I have a following, people are like talking about me, or then they'll come up to me. Like, it's just a different experience than it used to be before I got a nose job and hair extensions and lost weight and started posting on social media, and people, mostly guys, trying to gaslight me and be like, you're not pretty, you're chopped. Bitch, you literally cannot tell me that I'm not objectively pretty. I fit the beauty standard. That is just fact. And the funny thing is, I don't see it as that much of a personal thing. For me, you are who you are, and then there's your looks, and your looks give you a competitive advantage. But then obviously there's pretty privilege, but there's also times where it doesn't serve you and it's more anxiety ridden, or people are ruder to you, or whatever the fuck else. Anyways, I just came on here to say that you can't gaslight me. I know I'm fucking pretty. You could never make me hate myself. Truly. I fucking love myself so deeply, and social media sees one little piece of the pie. Everybody knows this. I don't even believe in like any of the hate on social media. Like, you're a bot. No one's ever said this to my face, so that's how I know you're a bot. You don't exist in my universe. Anyways, all to say to the girls who are told certain things, especially by guys or hater girls, they're mad that you're confident. You know if you're pretty, you know how you look, and other people's opinions, whether it's advice, compliments, insults, it's all just noise from other people. Whatever you believe about yourself is right because you spend the most time with yourself, so you have the most evidence on who you are. If you love yourself, no one can ever take it away from you, and that's the best part and why I've gained so much confidence this year since starting my social media, because it's made me realize that my opinion about myself is so locked and deep rooted that no matter what anyone says, it doesn't change the way I feel and the way I live my life. And I want that for all you girls. So just remember, when you invest into yourself, no one can take it away from you because you put the work in to love yourself. So no matter what anyone says or does, it doesn't affect you because the best investment you can make is into yourself. Love you. Fall for more. Mwah.
Now let's keep in mind she's only 21 and she does admit that she's never had a boyfriend before, and so not that that should change anything, but I do think that we do need to acknowledge that she is a bit on the younger side, and so it does seem like she started social media this year too. So with that said, I do think that if someone is calling themselves pretty online or just calling themselves pretty in general, like if your username is pretty me or beautiful me, what do you guys think about that? If you see someone you know having that, do you feel like, whoa, they're full of themselves, or do you feel like, hey, I'm glad they're confident? The third question, do you feel like it depends? I feel like it depends on the tone, maybe how you're carrying yourself. But a lot of people have said in response to this that she does kind of seek that emotional validation, which cancels out her being just confident in their opinion.
Talia, girl, we're not buying yet, okay? You're a little cutie pie when your mouth is closed. Okay, if I looked at you, I'd say, oh, that's a cute girl. And I don't want you to lose sight of that in this. Anyone who says you're chopped is lying, okay? They're just trying to get a rise out of you. And I need you to hold on to that, okay? Because you also are not living in reality. You cry that people in your real life aren't acknowledging your glow up and telling you how beautiful you are. And the internet people are now telling you you're chopped. And you're not getting your props from them either. I am a confident lady, okay? I'm confident in my appearance, but there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And you just seem unpleasant, okay? And no one wants to compliment an unpleasant person. It's gauche, and it's clear you don't actually have that much confidence, babe. You wouldn't be coming to the internet seeking such validation from us, trying to convince the world that you believe that you are a supermodel if you actually felt that way. Like, thou doth protest a bit too much.
Someone said she looks like Nicolas Cage, begging moms to stop telling their girls that everyone that dislikes them is jealous. See, that's the thing too. If someone doesn't think you're as pretty as you say you are, or just doesn't think you're pretty, That doesn't mean they're jealous. Like, if someone tells me I'm ugly, that doesn't mean they're jealous. They just don't think I'm pretty, and that's fine. People need to accept that there is nothing wrong with being an average looking person. See, that's another thing too that I saw in responses, and low-key I agree. I feel like if you're not someone that turns heads, that's fine. If you are, that's fine. But if people know that they are gorgeous, I feel like they just wouldn't necessarily be like, I'm so pretty, or it's hard being pretty and being stared at.
Are you pretty? Yes. Are you double take, break your neck pretty? No. And that's okay. The girl who got on here and she was talking about how pretty she is, and everywhere she go, people just be looking, people be double taking because of the amount of followers that she got online, which is about 37,000, that like people be whispering and talking about her because they see her outside in the wild. The internet is so disingenuous. She is a pretty girl, right? Sitting in her comment section and saying anything less, you're being disingenuous. She is pretty. Was she doing too much and dragging it? Absolutely. But she wasn't wrong when she said that the internet hate to see pretty people get online and acknowledge that they know that they're pretty. People do hate that. They love to try to humble you when you do that. Now, when you get into people who are head-turning, net-breaking, attractive, these are people that usually possess something very unique about them that would make people turn their heads and double take. This don't even always have to be positive. It could be something that's weird about a person that make people double take. It could be a bad BBL that make people look at it and double take. It don't mean people like it. They just look at it because they ain't never seen nothing like it before. You could be really tall and it causes people to double take and look at you. But usually when you get that type of reaction, this is because you're unique in some type of way and people don't see people that look like you on an everyday basis. Just being pretty is not enough for people to double take. People see pretty people all the time. Now, do I believe that you may get a lot of compliments on your eyes? Yeah, I could believe that. I could believe that once people like get up close to you and they see your eyes, they might give you compliments about that. But I don't think anybody is like stopping in their tracks and double taking and just awe like they never seen nothing like it before. And a lot of y'all just have to take a step back and just relax. You're pretty, but you're not that level of pretty. I remember when I made the video about most people being average and how women lost their mind on that video, because women just have a hard time accepting the fact that you can be pretty, but you're just an average looking pretty woman, and pretty comes a dime a dozen. People can make themselves pretty. Like, there's so many different things that play into it, but to be a head turner, there has to be something unique about you. It has to be something that people don't see it on a regular. And that's the reason why it causes people to stop in their tracks, because it's something so unique. It's something so different about you that people are shocked when they see it.
People can be stared at for all kinds of stuff. Where I live, I stick out like a sore thumb and I get stared at a lot, but it's not because they're like, ooh, you know what I mean? But anyways, people need to accept that there's nothing wrong with being an average looking person. And you gotta think about it too, because what? We're in 2026 now. I mean, people have doppelgangers from around the world. I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, but you may think that you're unique and you have your own features, but you may favor some other people. I've gotten Eva Mendes before, which I don't think is true. She's really pretty though, by the way. But you can favor people still. Does that mean you're average? Maybe. Does that mean you're not average? Maybe. But beauty is subjective. So I do appreciate Talia's confidence though. Some of this stuff rubs me the wrong way in some of her other videos, which we'll talk about. But Timu Sarah Hyland is very, very angry, and the nastier she is, the less cute she seems. I miss diaries. We've talked about that before too. I also think this could have been a diary entry. However, I don't know. It's her platform. I mean, she looks like an average pretty person, like nothing to stop your day over. She is pretty, that's true, but I don't think everyone is stopping to stare and whisper how beautiful she is. She has Charlie Kirk reposts. TikTok won't allow me to share my thoughts. Interesting. There are drop-dead gorgeous women in this world that would never. Please don't give me hate, but in my opinion, there's hyping yourself up / confidence, and then there's this. You know what I mean. Beauty is subjective, very subjective. Some of the stuff that I saw in her videos too, caption says, one girl said people really ran out of content ideas and started using Talia's virality. Ha ha ha, real, it's exhausting being famous.
You guys are all talking your shit and I'm over here like, I manifested this. I get everything I want. Like, they have no idea. It doesn't bother me. Keep saying whatever you want. I do think you're really weird. I still think I'm beautiful and amazing. This is such a lesson for everyone because it's like, why do you actually care? Even if I looked like the ugliest motherfucker you've ever seen and I was on here and I'm gorgeous. Good for me. I live in my life and my body all day. Why do you guys care if other girls think they're pretty? You should want them to. So weird. Like, you're a loser. Love you guys. Keep it up. Mwah. Funniest part about this is that now people are actually seeing more of me and like, I love this girl. And now all the people who were like, yeah, all eyes on you where? All eyes on me now. The whole fucking internet is talking about me. Like, stay mad.
Like, she has a lot of videos saying, thank you, I prayed for this engagement. And so I just don't like that, in my opinion. I mean, I think it's okay to think that all publicity is good publicity, but really is it? Because it seems like a lot of your content before was
being mean is weird. Not the broke, fat, ugly loser haters. It's always the brokies. It's always the fat, ugly losers. Being fat and ugly is the worst thing you could ever do to yourself. If you dress like a slut and have a high body count, your worth is lower. I would never date a broke man. That is so pathetic as a man to be broke. Because I have no interest in your crybaby tears. Go take it somewhere else. You are stupid and annoying. You're slut shaming. You're slut shaming. Yes, I am slut shaming because apparently it's become cool now to dress like a hoe, to have a whole Snapchat roster, and to put your entire worth and identity into what these boys think of you. Yes, I am making being a slut a bad thing. Just like growing up, my dad would always tell me and my 3 sisters, don't act stupid. I hate when girls act dumb. Don't slut shame women because they're just horny, just like men. No, they're not, bro. Shut the fuck up. Do you need like a biology lesson? Women are not as naturally tempted by sex the way men are. You stupid. Like, it actually baffles me. Women naturally want to get pregnant and have kids and nurture, okay? That's what we want.
then just say, oh, thanks. I prayed for the followers. I prayed for the engagement. This is good. This doesn't bother me. And then to also say that I want to use my platform to empower girls, empower women, and you have content that is like that, that doesn't make any sense to me. Is it all for the views or what's going on? I don't know, it becomes a slippery slope, but I do hope that this kind of goes over soon because, I don't know, I feel for her. She's 21 and this is just a long backlash, I feel. But there's other things to consider as well.
No offense, but seeing white women on the internet crying about people not thinking that they're pretty makes me realize that certain people would not be able to live the experience of another race. If you woke up and you were no longer a white person, the world would be very different for you. For most minorities, like, you have experienced a moment in your life where people did not think you were pretty at all, and it was tormenting. It's not that I even wish that on anybody, it's just that it's like, it's context. I have never gone on a campaign to an individual or to a group, and especially on the internet. I have never had to campaign for my beauty. People started out not telling me, and I had to figure it out for myself. Hey, you are beautiful. And once I did, cool. I figured that out, kept it moving, right? I don't need to convince people. Whether they think so or not is kind of irrelevant, you know? But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, why does that matter so much to you? Like, why is that the thing that you're like holding on to? Maybe if you had experienced what it felt like to not have that before, it wouldn't matter that much now.
This is genuinely a take that I would have never considered as a white woman. This creator says, thank you for listening and understanding. It's not an attack. It's literally just pointing out that a formative experience for the average non-white person is to love themselves in spite of lack of representation and validation. Objectively, America favors the beauty of white women, which is why the average beauty and brand campaign has one. White women are never excluded, but I've seen plenty of beauty clothing brands not feature anyone Asian, Black, Latino, etc. So that's what I mean. Since the standard is already set to center white women, she doesn't need to be fighting that hard on the internet. I agree, but it's definitely not exclusive to white women. Referencing the girl you're talking about, I think she's just out of touch and insecure. I don't think it's a universal experience for women to assume that they're pretty just because they're white. At least I've never thought that being white played into beauty at all, in any context. Unfortunately, she's not the first video I've come across this year saying something like this about being the beauty standard. That's why I referred to white women specifically, because the standard centers Eurocentric features. You're talking about women in beauty standards when it all just depends on culture. You don't fit the white American beauty standard, but you fit black beauty standard. So as a woman, it does suck when you're not considered beautiful, but it really just depends on where you live. But it does matter because everyone wants to feel desirable. Other cultures can have their own standards, but the standard for America is still centered on white women. Someone posted a photo in the comments and it talks about the impulse to humble a woman who is confident in her appearance is a complex mix of social conditioning, evolutionary psychology, and individual insecurity. It rarely has anything to do with the woman herself and almost everything to do with the internal state of the person attempting to do the humbling. And they say, society often mandates that women should be accidentally beautiful. There is a deeply ingrained cultural script that says women must be attractive but also appear unaware of it, even slightly insecure about it. Virginia says, it is empowering to know your worth, but you lose that power the moment you try to argue with people over if you even have it in the first place. I do think that's interesting too. I did see another video. If I find it, I don't know if I saved it, I'll play it after I make this point, but I did see that she's half Latina, half white. So I know some of y'all might say, hey, well, she is a person of color, which is true. However, she is white presenting, so it does make sense for her to be more so accepted as the quote-unquote beauty standard because she has close proximity to whiteness. She is white, but also she presents as white, so she's going to be treated as such in America. That's just something to think about. I do think she's cute. Like, if you're saying that she's ugly, you're lying. But I do agree that that could have been a diary entry. I don't want to compare her platform to her sister's, especially because I am more familiar with her sister's platform, but I do think the way you go about your content makes a difference. So, well, I'm not saying Talia deserves a hate, I don't think she does, but I do think you get out of it what you put in it, and so I do think maybe she could have worded it a bit better, because honestly, just being a woman in the US, whether you think you're ugly or not, you will probably get catcalled, or you'll probably get stared at, even if they think you're pretty, even if they think you're ugly. And yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, you kind of know when to expect it, depending on where you are. Like even when you go into a room of people, or let's say, or even when you're in line, order something for food or beverages, people will look behind themselves to see what you look like. It's just in general. And so I get what she's saying, but I also think that there is some nuance to it, because maybe she does feel that way because she is considered beauty standard in Eurocentric features. I'm not saying she is, but maybe that is part of it too. And I can see that. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's hear from other creators about this topic.
That Talia girl is correct. She is the standard of beauty. She's about white. And that's what the standard of beauty is. The standard of beauty is whiteness. When something exists as a standard, it already exists. It is the default. What is the default? Whiteness. You will never be the standard of beauty if your very existence in media has to have petitions. You have to be petitioned for. People have to beg for a brown or black person to appear. So you're not the standard of beauty. You're already canceled out. Anoki is probably the most powerful model in the world, the most recognizable, the most successful, I believe, not the standard of beauty. And to be clear, neither is Alex Kansani. Modeling is not for beautiful people. Modeling is for striking features that are elitist and seem like you could not possibly engineer them if you had all the tools in the lab. The way that you guys argue makes two things clear. You hate women and you don't understand the concept of the words you guys are using. And George Bush's reign strikes again. Y'all can never back up the things that you're saying with words. Oh, she's cute, pretty. She's girl next door pretty, but she's not stop and stare pretty. Point that out in the dictionary. What the are you talking about? These things don't exist. You act like these are sizes of a bra. That's not how it works. If a woman is beautiful, if a man is attractive, they're beautiful, period. But that doesn't make them the standard. Lupita Nyong'o is gorgeous. Eva Mendes, gorgeous. Not the standard of beauty. Not the standard of beauty. The standard of beauty is a white woman. Any white woman. And for y'all to sit up here and act like that's not the truth is insane. Victoria's Secret models are meant to be a level of beauty that women look up to and covet. That one is actual true beauty, but it does not include women with curves. Don't get me started on Ashley Graham. Ashley Graham is not anybody's standard. When people look up the word fat, we're not looking for height, weight, proportional. We're not looking for that. The standard of fatness is not Ashley Graham. It's not. You don't have to be Adriana Lima to get everybody to look at you, sis. You really don't. All you have to do is be striking and different. Y'all sit here and compare that girl to Paul Giamatti. You don't compare her to Carly Bybel? That's who she looks like. Carly Bybel is a beautiful woman. But if you put her next to a blonde, due to the rules of whiteness, the blonde is going to have the blonde is a standard of beauty. That's what it is. Standard of beauty. Generally, the leading lady, the woman that you see out there that is touted as the most beautiful is blonde and blue-eyed. That's why white people get so mad when you point out that their blonde is fake. Because the standard is blonde. The word standard has a meaning. The word beauty has a meaning. When you put them together, it means something different other than I've seen prettier than her. You might have seen people prettier than her. You may have, but are they the standard of beauty? So to give you more, to recap, you can be a beautiful woman. Some of the most beautiful women are brown and black. Are they the standard of beauty? No. Would you be the standard of beauty if you were a beautiful East Asian woman, but you were fat? No. Would you be the standard of beauty in West Africa if you were skinny and bald? No. Would you be the standard of beauty if you're a white woman with red hair? No. Standards do not have to fight to be included. If a petition has to be enacted for somebody like you to be in a movie, you're not the standard of beauty. If people have to rally together in order to get media of people like you, you're not the standard. So when we're saying that, even brunette whites are not the standard. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed people are the standard. And no, they don't have to be beautiful. I would never believe y'all's queen. I don't think Taylor Swift is pretty at all. And she's one of those people who also can't close her mouth. I think I'm more beautiful than that woman. But I would never fix my mouth to say, oh, I'm the standard of beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's about who you think is cute, but not when it comes to a standard.
Anytime someone comes on this app and says that they're attractive, y'all get mad. What's up with that? That girl with the really intense eyes who's asserting her beauty on this app right now is getting so much unnecessary feedback. Like, what is so bad with her thinking she's the baddest bitch? Like, what's wrong with that? You guys are obsessed with humbling people. Even the people who are like trying to be constructive, like actually she's not really confident because she got all that plastic surgery and this is her trying to convince us and herself. Okay, let her. The truth of the matter is we should all feel very good about ourselves. We should all feel like we're really, really pretty, especially the girls. To be honest, none of this is real. You can decide today that you're the baddest bitch out here. Who's gonna stop you? You guys are so inundated with the rules of attraction and the rules of desirability that you want to be in someone's head. Like, you want her so badly to follow the rules that you literally want to get in her brain and be like, no, you're not as pretty as you think you are. Why? Everybody should be aiming to get to the level of confidence, fake or real, that you could get on this internet and look at all these people and tell them that you're the baddest one. You should want to get to that level. You shouldn't see it and be like, no, be realistic. Of what? Realistically, they made up the rules.
We don't hate that girl who said life is so hard because she is so beautiful and famous because she's confident. We hate her because she's not, and her confidence is fake. Most of her platform is built on tearing women down, calling women sluts and skanks. I have the intelligence to know that anybody who needs to rage bait that badly clearly isn't confident enough to think that they can build a platform without doing it, just being themselves. You are not confident if you're building a platform off of bashing women.
Talia Breyer is crashing out on the internet because she's paid so much money and has gone through so much at the ripe age of 21. And she realizes that maybe it is not enough. And maybe she can't buy her way into hotness, prettiness, gorgeousness. She also accompanied that with, I got a nose job. I am on Ozempic. I've lost the weight. Those are, in my opinion, hallmarks of like an extremely insecure person, which makes sense because she's literally 21 years old. But she thinks that she can buy her way in to being the beauty standard, that she can buy her way in. And a lot of people can, but I would venture to say that most of them have a lot more money than she does. She's not Kylie Jenner. She's not Bella Hadid. That's not the league that she's playing in. Can you imagine how you would feel if for your entire childhood you felt like there were these things wrong with you? Maybe people were making fun of you for these traits that you ostensibly can't change about yourself. And then once you're 21, by the way, she strikes me as the kind of person who goes to school with the kind of girls I went to school with who were getting nose jobs for their sweet 16s. So she's 5 years behind, which I'm sure, makes her feel bad. And so she was made to wait 5 years to get her nose job to make sure that she really wanted it. Now she has it. And now she's on Ozempic, which, a lot of people are taking for legitimate health reasons based on the way she talks about it. I doubt that she's taking it for legitimate health reasons. And I think she feels entitled to being treated like she's beautiful because she paid to be beautiful. And I think she's realizing now that maybe the return on investment isn't going to be as high as she thought. And I can see how if you've invested not only all of this money, but also this energy and this self-consciousness into being certain these aesthetic improvements are also going to improve your life, then you find out that the internet thinks you're chopped, then I can see how that would lead one to crash out on the internet. To me, it's just unfortunate because that age, you don't have the perspective to understand what makes someone attractive. The beauty standard at this point in 2025 is kind of irrelevant to me. I mean, it's just such a symptom of this, I think, pick me mentality, because she's like, okay, now I've done the thing, so let's go. Where's the line of people? And, she's saying that the people in her life also aren't reacting appropriately to her enhancements. And I think that also says a lot.
I'm a little late to the party, but I just became hip to this discourse about that girl that said she was pretty and people stare at her in public. And oh my god, y'all are weird and, dare I say, insecure. And I feel like I'm the only person on the internet who has that opinion. And anytime somebody says that I've seen in this whole discourse about this girl, everyone jumps down their throat, and people lost their minds. Like, no, you're not pretty. You're ugly. You look like a man. Blah, 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 blah. You're the beauty standard. That's what really seemed to set everybody off. Her saying she was the beauty standard. People were like, she didn't just say she was pretty. She said she fit the beauty standard. Like, okay, and she does. And even if she doesn't, why do you care? Why does it make you mad that this girl feels pretty and feels like people are looking at her? Like, could it be a little bit, I don't know, overly confident? Yeah, but why are you so angry about that? It does not affect you at all if this girl feels like people are looking at her because she's pretty when she goes out in public. I just think it's so weird. I think it's so weird that so many people on the internet, not just towards this girl, but in general, feel the need to absolutely jump down people's throats to humble them when said people aren't insulting other people. They're not being outwardly mean. Also, something that I noticed when I looked at this girl's page, she talks a lot about being on Ozempic, and I haven't done enough digging to figure out if my idea is true. But when you lose a lot of weight and go from being like not necessarily the beauty standard to being more of fitting the beauty standard, like she said. You definitely notice the way people treat you and the way that you're received, especially I feel like by like strangers. You notice that change. I say that as somebody who has been skinny and then overweight and now is skinny again, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Now, I don't know for sure if this girl has lost a lot of weight. All I know is she is on a GLP-1. I didn't do enough digging to see how much weight she's actually lost, but coming from that perspective, is she is somebody who looks a lot differently than she did maybe a year or 2 years ago. Her video totally makes sense, and I'm sure she is received very differently in public than she used to be. I mean, I know that I feel like I am. I don't know, as someone who makes content myself, like the internet just makes me mad sometimes. I saw a lot of people also saying like, well, if you put content out on the internet or you make videos or you share your opinions, expect to get opinions back. And it's like, no, if you're not actively like insulting anybody or being mean, you don't deserve to get insulted on the internet and having your looks torn apart on the internet just because you might be a little overly confident. Like, you don't deserve that just because you put some content out. I hate that take. I've always hated that take. Like, somebody being active on social media literally does not give you an excuse to bully that person just because they put themselves out there. At the end of the day, did her video come off a little cocky? I mean, like, maybe to some people. I honestly watched it and I didn't see anything wrong with it. I wasn't like, it didn't make me mad at all, but I guess I could see why some people would be like, But like, if you see that and you decide that means that you need to go tell this girl how ugly you think she is, like, you're super weird for that. You're weird. I watched a lot of her videos this morning and I actually really like her. I think she's really funny, and it's just kind of her vibe to be a little bit like, I don't know, like loud and confident, but like the absolute fury this seems to be invoking in people because she said she fixed the beauty standard. Oh, God forbid. Like, please just roll your eyes and scroll. You guys are acting weird.
Alright y'all, that is it for today's video. Please let me know your comments down below and what you thought. Do you feel like she does have pretty privilege? Do you feel like she thinks she's the standard of beauty and she's not? Do you think Talia can move on from this? What do you think about her responses to the backlash? Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!